Jonathan David, negotiations to Man United. I've gonna hit your comments. Welcome to the United Matters channel. How are you guys and where you're watching us from? I go by the names of Rock and David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And it's always Rock and David in here to bring you the latest news and information as far as everything is really concerned into the mix. We're also gonna be discussing a little bit onto the meeting scheduled amongst the Premier League clubs just to it that the transfer window comes to an end before the start of the Premier League season, and they want to say to it that La Liga, Serie A, League One, and so many more sees to it that it is really put into activation. So hope we really get the best of the best as we the fans of the club. So let's see close to 100 likes much in this video and continue to subscribe. Now, United going in for Jonathan David is no longer news. You all know to it that we've reported it earlier that United are looking in to sign Jonathan David, free agent this summer, and you know the reason as to why United are really going in for free agents. And then we're having in a very huge source coming in through from the side of France, known as Lead 10 Sport. They're telling us that Man United are currently in active negotiations to sign Lille's Jonathan David on a free transfer this summer. That's what they're really talking now. The negotiations are on, meaning that United and the entourage of Jonathan David have gone ahead, obviously, find themselves onto a negotiation table to see to it that this deal comes to pass. And Man United want to get this deal done and dusted. And I know they want to obviously sign a pre-contract even before the summer transfer window opens, because suitors will be huge. But right now, if you come up and really show Jonathan David that you really want him and the other clubs are really hesitating, then you'll obviously have him signed at the club of Manchester United. And I've already told you that we need a senior striker to act as that lead striker such that the pressure is off Rasmus Højlund. And if we don't really get the pressure off Rasmus Højlund, I tell you his career will be 100% ruined. But when you get in a senior striker to obviously coming through and take off the pressure from Rasmus Højlund, that will be really great. So Jonathan David, for me, as a free agent, I will welcome him to the club of Manchester United. And that's why I've already told you that right now, I'll go in for Jonathan David, right? I don't think that he'll cost us a penny, only the sign-on fee and some huge salary that he'll be getting in through from the club of Manchester United. And there is nothing else that can stop this deal from obviously coming to pass. So I think if we handle this deal very well, he might be the first signing of Manchester United this summer transfer window. And before even the summer transfer window comes to an end, he might find himself in a position of really coming in through to put in a very huge shift for the club of Manchester United. So that is really great for the club of Manchester United, because I don't want the likes of Victor Osimhen to come in now. You know, he comes in with huge pressure, I will struggle. But when you bring in Jonathan David, everyone will be like, United have gone ahead to bring in an average striker, right? And however much he has a lot of goals to his name in his previous careers, you know, in France, you know, and his national team, it doesn't really put a lot of pressure onto him, meaning that he'll come in and integrate in well with the club of Manchester United. But the moment we come up with a striker like Victor Osimhen, a lot of pressure will come in. Let's admit that we are building this club again. Let Osimhen go to where he deserves to be. And I know in 1 or 2 seasons, there will be a world's class striker in Chido Obi Martin, Rasmus Højlund, and maybe Jonathan David. And in the system of this manager, you'll need those 3 forwards there. I've gone here to see people say, sell Rasmus Højlund and obviously get in maybe an Osimhen. But if you get Rasmus Højlund out, that means you'll be having a deficit of 1 more. And I don't think that United's plan is to have Osimhen and Jonathan David, because Victor Osimhen really earns a huge salary. And I tell you this, he won't really take a pay cut. He won't really take a pay cut because he knows to it that there are clubs that can even pay him more, like PSG. They really need a striker in the summer and they'll obviously go in for him. So for Jonathan David, I think let's get him in and let these negotiations really get out results. And some of you will ask me, Rokani, what exactly are these negotiations all about? One, the negotiations all about the sign-on fee, because it's coming in through as a free agent, and there must be a sign-on fee, and I know it will be around 5, 6, 7 million pounds. Then the salary, of which I don't think United will accept him to exceed 200,000 pounds. You understand? Then the length of the contract, or the longevity of the contract that Man United will sign with Jonathan David. Then they'll have to discuss what we call the agent fees, right? The agent fees will be discussed too in the mix of those negotiations. So even the agent will obviously come in through, and we will have to obviously know who has the image rights of this guy, and obviously the bonuses won't be forgotten. So that's how things are really going on. But I think it's an easy deal to crack. If you're Jonathan David, unless otherwise, you're really having another big club that is really interested in you. And I always told you that my fear is Barcelona. Barcelona are in need of a striker. But remember, they are going to extend the contract of Lewandowski. That means that Lewandowski is going to be there, and they will need one striker. And if you're having Lewandowski, who is not an injury-prone player, you will need a player who is not obviously pushing to get to the starting 11, but a player who can obviously put competition to Lewandowski. And if at all he really outshines him, he obviously takes that position. And I think the sum of 2026 will be very crucial for the side of Barcelona. That's when I think they'll obviously come out huge to buy a striker, because I think they'll be saying their goodbyes to the player known as Lewandowski. So I think that's the hugest competitor. Though there is another story that I had to read from people around Arsenal, that Andre Bartha, the new sporting director for the club of Arsenal, who is yet to be announced, has huge interest in this guy. He's interested in Jonathan David, and he wants him to come at Arsenal, and interest will obviously come in through, and obviously see to it that it really gates on. So we are waiting to see how things pan out for the club of Manchester United and Jonathan David. But the good thing is that Ineos, the head of football operations at Manchester United, have acted quick. They've gone in quick. They've attacked the deal immediately, and they want to see to it that this guy obviously goes ahead to obviously join them as the real guy in the mix. So we are waiting to see how that pans out, and I'll be here to bring you the latest news and information as far as everything is really concerned. Now, after Jonathan David, Sam Wallace, who is the chief football reporter of the Daily and Sunday Telegraph, has told us that Premier League clubs will discuss closing the summer transfer window this year on 14th August, 2 days before the start of the 2025-2026 season. Now, I really understand that it will make huge sense, because teams continue to lose players when others are really buying, So a lot of things really happen in football, and you've got to hate to say that a lot of deals go ahead to happen on the deadline day when the season is already in. But when you say to it that you close in the summer transfer window at the same date with other clubs, it obviously gives you a very huge opportunity to say to it that you compete at a fair ground. But a player can be convinced to join another club, and he might obviously put there a riot and really say, I want out. And you obviously have to sell the player, you understand? So I think this is a very huge move, and I think that's why Manchester United are like, let's go in for Jonathan David immediately before, because as things stand, deals might come. The transfer window is obviously going to be shortened with, I think, 19 days or 3 weeks. So that means you have to act easily. But those 3 months will obviously be great. And all note to it that the summer transfer window always opens mostly on the 14th of June. So 14th of July, that is 1 month. That means it's going to be cut short to 2 months. And that's when business has to be done. And I think we who obviously do these summer transfer news stories will obviously have a lot of things to do, because stories are really going to be, all deals are obviously going to be done hurriedly. Teams won't really take long because they know that they don't have time. But we might find that even the date at which the summer transfer window really commences also is pushed back to around the first week of June or the 1st of June, when the summer transfer window really opens. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. I call upon for your reactions into the comment section below about Jonathan David to Man United negotiations commence. And do you think it's really good to see that the transfer window closes 2 days before the start of the Premier League season? All that and more into the comment section below.